intimidated because they don't have enough content. Okay, so imagine if that place of not having enough content is where you put the PLR in. So instead of building the business on PLR, you build the business on your own experience, on how you want to change people's lives, and then you bring the PLR in to support all of your memberships. Now, this solves one of the biggest problems with PLR. So one of the biggest problems that I hear from my clients about PLR is, well, Sean, it's in your voice, or you signed it, and I have to do all this work to really make it my own. If I'm going to do all this work to make it my own, I might as well do my own thing. But I'm stuck doing my own thing. That's why I'm going to PLR route. What if, because of the fact that you have your own core, 10 lessons, something basic, you have your own core, you can support that with my PLR, Charles's PLR, and 5 other people's. Now, obviously, in Charles's membership, my understanding is you have access to different PLR. So instead of building something that just has one name on it for the PLR, it has it's almost like it could be, imagine you have an academy. When you went to school, when you went to university, there wasn't one professor for everything. There was 10 of them. You've been to websites before where a membership has 10 coaches. Well, if you purchase PLR from me, from Charles, from Robin, from Ryan, from John, from Mary, okay, you can now create something where you're creating your own material, but it's surrounded by this like professors of your industry, and you will have a very, very unique business. So that's the big thought that I wanted to throw out, Charles. And then if we wanted to build on that, I know that your folks have asked some questions. You tell me where you'd like to go next.
I think let's pursue that, because that's one of the things that we have been talking about, which is kind of wrapping the PLR around an area of expertise. I see one of the gentlemen here today, and let's say that, you know, you have a person here, Sean, and let's kind of take that concept, and let's say that his gift or his focus tends to be organization and process. And so he's got access to a lot of content. He's got access to things he can wrap around another PLR, but his gift to the world is being able to think through processes and think through organization. So if we were to take that concept and we were to go with, let's say for that gentleman, how would we then move using PLR and other things to kind of build out this area that he's gifted in?
Okay, so let me ask another question or two, and if you don't know the answer, then we'll make one up for our example here. So this is somebody that really understands processes and systems really, really well. He's a person who can do flow charts and diagrams and all of those things. Now, does he do that in a specific niche area, or is that just a skill that he's really good at anywhere he goes?
It is a skill he is very good at in everything he does, across the niche. Okay,
so let me look at this from a consulting perspective. All right. So and this will work well because I don't know the processes and diagrams names. Okay, I don't know how much demand there is as a standalone for it. All right. So your client should do the research and find out, say, wow, there's a lot of demand just for processes and diagrams. And if that's the case, okay, great. Then honestly, what I would do is I would take maybe his best 5 concepts. Okay, so what are 5 concepts in processes and flows, and what are those 5 concepts? And I would try to create something of my own that was original. I would speak it into existence as we're doing right here. So if we could imagine that this was not an interview, and in fact, one of the tactics I've used with my clients before is to do something just like we're doing, but then cut out the person asking the questions. Okay, so for example, if I wanted to create a product, then I could hire Charles, or I could have somebody else ask me questions, and then we would cut the video up and it would just have my answer. So if I just strictly wanted something that was only my voice, then I could do that. However, what I've discovered is that people love interviews. Okay, So if I were starting, let's say in processes and diagrams, I would find 5 people. They don't even have to be in the industry. I would find 5 people to interview me. Have one person interview me on processes, one person on diagrams, one person on something else. Because there's something about interviewing that brings the gold out. We don't even need an outline if we're being interviewed, because if you know your topic, processes and diagrams, if you get asked a question, you're going to know the answer. You don't need a slide PowerPoint. You don't need notes. You don't have to go, oh, I studied that 20 years ago. How do we do it? You know it. It's your thing. Okay. So that's what I would do. I would get 5 people, and look, folks, it doesn't have to be hard. You can have a family member do it. You'd have 2 family members do it. A friend at church could interview you. I mean, my goodness, you could find somebody that's out of work and pay them $25 to interview you. You could, so there's all kinds. You'd probably find somebody on Fiverr that would interview you for an hour. Okay. So you have these 5 interviews, and then what I would do is I would begin to build the business right around that. I built a little website that was,